Well, hello and welcome back. Thank you for coming back. Today we're going to go and, well, commit some crimes in downtown Paphos, shall we say. We're going to go and assault at least 3 hotels, possibly even 4 hotels. So if you happen to be watching and you've asked us to go and do what we call a hit and run on a hotel or an apartment complex that perhaps you're going to stay in when you come out to your Paphos holidays, stay tuned, because we are now going to leave the wonderful little hillside village of Armu with a great view. Have you seen that beautiful? Look at that. Wow. Look over those treetops. That is paradise down there, and that's where we're going to go. So stick with us as we transcend from Armu down to Paphos. But before we go, the girl in charge of the ship, unsuspecting.
Hello everybody. How nice to see you again and again.
And again, stick with us. Let's go. That's it, we're in here, we're off. Here we are. Oh, someone's coming over the brow that little bit too fast. There we go. Right. We live on a, well, as you can see from the signposts, we live in a 30-mile, well, kilometres that is. So that's a 20-mile-an-hour zone, but the cars coming over the brow behind us do trend to transverse that crest at around about 100 kilometres an hour. So that's about 70 miles an hour. So there we go. Anyway, let's stick with us. Here we go. Hopefully you can see still that beautiful blue horizon and the blue Mediterranean Sea, which is where we're heading down to in downtown Paphos. As I've said, we're up in the village of Armu, which is approximately 7 kilometres from Paphos and approximately 10 kilometres from the downtown Paphos harbour and promenade area. In English, that's 3.5 miles and about 5.5 miles, because I understand most of us English, well, we work in miles. Receive your booth?
The miles for me was always ununderstandable, because we used to measure everything in kilometers, in centimeters.
Yeah, that's the way you're
inches,
taught.
yeah,
That's right, inches
centimeters.
and miles. Yeah, that's the way. If you're taught in your school in kilometres or miles, that's the one you're going to understand, obviously. And then let's not go into money with decimation and all that kind of stuff. But British people in general work in miles and inches, and there's nothing wrong with a few good inches. What do you say, LeBou?
Yeah, what about the miles? But wait a minute, many years ago, you know, the detectives, as a detective about Sherlock Holmes, and such detectives in Russian language, we're talking now 1930s, 1920s, they used to measure in miles, and I remember those old films I watched was in miles. Yeah,
well, you'll find a lot of countries, nations changed. Some were in miles and then they changed to kilometres. Some even drove on the correct side of the road at one time, and then they decided to switch over and drive on the wrong side of the road.
And then miles, in translation, in Russian, it means mili. Yeah, now
Mili.
I remember.
There we go.
Yeah.
Right, so stick with us. We've transgressed, shall we say. Now we're in downtown Konya. So this is the next village down. This is, should we say, a mix of old and new Konya village. You've got, if we go left, you go into the old village. Again, most of that's been knocked down and built into multi-million euro villas these days, because it seems to be the place to live, and then commute down into Paphos or roll down into Paphos without that close, obviously. Again, over the top of the villas and the trees, you can probably just about make out the blue Mediterranean Sea. Absolute paradise today, absolutely spectacular weather. The heat is around about 30 degrees, which is absolutely perfect, and the humidity at the moment is only around about 45%. So that's quite pleasant. Sorry, Dave Jono, we'll hand you over to Ochik Receiver the booth. Here we go.
The temperature of the air at the moment being is about 30 to 32 degrees.
Is it? There we are, that's the weather girl.
And it's growing, it's rising up. Humidity, it's about 75%. But never mind, we always have a sea nearby us, so we can always jump and feel better. Somebody's coming. What a nice music.
There we are. That's one of my customers phoning. Now you can understand that we are totally live. Stick with us. Stick with us. I apologise for that. when we finish this video, I'll phone him back. He's a man who lives in Paya, and he's got a black Vauxhall Astra. His neighbour backed into him, and we're going to go and fix it for him. And he wasn't sure the other day what day was free. Obviously, he's phoning me today to tell me that tomorrow we can steal his car. There we are. You understand we're real. You understand we're live. We don't live in Hollywood. No, no, no. We live in somewhere much better than that. We live in Paphos, the most beautiful place in the world, and we've got something spectacular that we're going to show you today. Hold on, receiver on the booth. It's wiggling their finger.
But what a weather forecast. Been just
Interrupted, yes.
Goodness.
I'll phone Mr. Patterson back afterwards and tell him, you naughty, naughty man, you interrupted Oching Gracevia LaBeouf, the most beautiful woman in the world, doing her downtown Cato Paphos weather forecast.
Never
Which lane are we
mind.
going, Gracevia?
I'm not going to Limassol, don't worry.
No.
I am just
Right.
driving sensibly.
Yes. Worrying. There we are. Stick with us. She's too busy pontificating about the weather forecast. Right, let's keep going down. That's coming up now in front of us is Alpha Mega. We just came over the Limassol roundabout as we were so kindly interrupted by Mr. Patterson. We'll have a word with him and pay her later. We're going to pay her later, so we'll have a word with him. Now, coming down here on the left-hand side in about a quarter of a mile will be the McDonald's in Uptown Paphos, to give you a bearing of where we are, which means we are heading down towards the Super Home Centre DIY Centre. And again, if you know Paphos, you will understand that that is referred to and will be referred to until the end of time as the Debenhams Roundabout, because that was a former Debenhams supermarket. Now, because Debenhams has, well, demised, shall we say, it's now become the ERA. So that's a bit of a mouthful, so we'll always call it the Debenhams Roundabout. To the left, McDonald's, as I've told you. Now, the Super DIY Centre is actually moving to this place on the left, which is the former Paphos Mall. So that is going to become the new Super DIY Centre and the new ERA department store, and I presume the new Next for kids. What are these idiots doing here? I don't think they know. Get past them, Lucy, for the booth. Right. Your driving today is a bit, well, Sherlock Holmes.
Do you, by the way, leave the Sherlock Holmes a bit. Let him work. Do you know if that road still been digging? This old road? No.
Well,
the
let's go,
road
receive your
to-
booth. The majority of the roads in Paphos are an absolute nightmare. I was talking to a lady the other night, and I apologise, I'd forgotten her husband's name. I'm not even sure if he gave me his name. Anyway, they're staying up in a villa in Tremathusa. So good morning to you, Emma. And they were telling us how they came down from Tremathusa into Paphos, and it took them about 2 hours because pretty much every road is dug up. Then that one's not, then that one is, then they divert you right band, and you end up back in Tremathusa. In fact, I think he said they ended up back in Polis, which is 50 kilometres the wrong way. Anyway, the road network in the middle of Paphos and on some of the extremities of Paphos at the moment is an absolute nightmare. Now, I understand this happens in other towns and other cities, but it doesn't normally happen in Paphos. So I can only assume that either the mayor, my friend, the Gumbaru, has got high on drugs, or this is the backup of all the works that were going to be, shall we say, done during that difficult time called COVID-19, and now it's all come upon us, and now they're doing it all at once, and there wasn't much thought or planning. I'll pop to his office on Friday, have a little coffee with him, and tell him he's a naughty boy.
Have I told hello everybody?
They like the big hello, so go on then.
Hello everybody. How nice, really nice to see you again.
Yes, it is. It is. And to see you, Gracevia LaBeouf.
And thank you very much.
Yes, very nice indeed. Right, stick with us. We are now on the lovely tree-lined avenue. Most people have commented and liked this, so have a look at that. So we now understand where we are. We're on the main boulevard down to downtown Cato Paphos. If we keep going straight, we are going to arrive at the blue Mediterranean Sea. We'll obviously have to crash through the main reception of the Olympic Lagoon Hotel. Obviously, Miss Ellie won't mind because she didn't get to stay there, so then you will not have missed a lot. Understand? So we're always thinking about you, Miss Ellie, and we know that next year, big guns, grandfather Nigel and oh so sweet Caroline, your grandmother, are going to abduct you from your mum, bring you out, and you're going to have a great holiday. Hopefully your bracelet is still holding up.
I'm sure it's still holding up.
I hope
Why
so.
not?
I hope so.
Why not?
Otherwise, let us know, and we'll go and see our Gumbaro number 1, Mr. Konstantinos, and we'll get him to make you another one. Right, we are in a traffic jam. Have a look at that. See, traffic lights, cars everywhere, unbelievable traffic. But that is heaven down there. That's the tree-lined avenue, boulevard, all the way down to the downtown Hotels Paphos, Promenade and harbour area. But if Leptos Estates have their plan, you can probably see these banners all the way along the side of this fencing to the left-hand side. They're going to turn it into something called a mega smart city. Whatever that means, I don't know. Perhaps everyone gets to buy a villa and gets given a smart car. Great idea if you own the smart car company. Who knows? Rusivia?
The roads here is totally
Sherlock Holmes, yeah.
Yes.
The roads, even the roads that haven't been dug up. In fact, the roads that have been dug up are better because you can't get to drive on them.
Exactly.
But as you can hear, the car is objecting. There are potholes, manhole covers, all sorts. Even though the road looks quite good, it's not. Because bear in mind, we're in a Mercedes E-Class, which is one of the most comfortable cars in the world. We're not in a little Nissan Note. Not that there's anything wrong with a Nissan Note, but we're not in one of those. And the car doesn't like the road. It wants to emigrate back to Germany. It's thinking about going to Handover. There we are. Right, stick with us. Here it comes. This is the last roundabout to heaven. If you can read it, it says Hotels Paphos Harbour area, straight on. Straight on. Straight. Straight.
All right,
Yes.
Mr.
Don't deviate from the plan. We're going down to Hotels Paphos and we're going to attack hotels. That's what we're going to do. So, if you have asked us to go and, should we say, storm an entrance of a hotel, come back in a few days because there's a whole load coming on at the moment. If you stick with us and you get to watch our evening videos, that's when we tend to put them on, because we understand perhaps people like to sit down, eat their dinner and have a drink or whatever as they watch us announce their arrival at their hotel or apartment complex of their choice. Right in front of us is, well, that hotel up there is the Olympic Lagoon. Let's try not run her over. There we are. We've got a big thank you from her. There we are, and a bit of a jog. There we are. So, Steve and Josie, 2 superstars, they stayed in that hotel not long ago, and they're coming back next year, and they're going to stay in the Leonardo Cypria Maris. Blah, blah, blah.
Yes.
I can't even say it.
Correct. Yes.
But anyway, I did notice. I did message Josie to tell her her video was up, and it did go up last night. Maybe you've watched it and forgotten how to write. I don't know. But if you haven't watched it, it's up. So please go and have a look, because we have a little wander around, and we didn't forget about Stephen's boxer shorts either. You'll see the other booth.
What do you mean, Stephen?
That's a little private joke.
Oh.
Right, stay with us.
But how could I miss it?
Wow. She was pontificating around in a nice dress, by the way. Right, have a look at this. Coming up here is the Amavi Hotel. A true luxury 5-star hotel. Amavi Way In Hotel. And then the next door branch is called the Amavi Way Out Hotel. There we go. They run out of names for the start, should we say. Great hotel, and we were allowed to storm that hotel, and the manager allowed us, which was very, very nice of him indeed.
It was very funny then.
Yeah, he was a nice guy. Coming up next, Alexander the Great. There's Stavros and there's Alex riding that horse. Next year, it will be oh so sweet Caroline. There's the foyer, Caroline. There it is. If you want, if you'd like us to do it, we'll go and storm that hotel again, because we haven't stormed it for a while. Now, on that note, there's a lady called Anne who comments quite often, and she said that's her second home. Anne, if you're watching, give us your surname. Well, we've got your surname, but give us your husband's or your partner's name, and guess what? Boom, we'll be in there. There we are. Downtown Hotels Paphos is upon us. Hotels, restaurants, bars and shops. Nice and quiet at this time of day. Only around about 10 o'clock in the morning. I mean, the promenade will have a few people walking around, and the harbour will be getting ready for a busy lunchtime, but it's quite a nice time of day to go for a mosey around. Oh my God, we're in a traffic jam. What's going on? What's going on? I'm shocked. Annabelle Hotel to the left. Just over there, you've got a Gumbaro of ours. That's Maria's shop. An upmarket gift shop, sells nice hats. wraps, that sort of thing, and handmade jewellery and fancy umbrellas. And then next door to that, you've got a nice coffee shop. You've got Marios Diamonds coming up. He's open. Luckily, we're in a car, so let's keep going. To the right, you've got the Imperial Chinese upstairs. You've got Costa Coffee. You've got Coffee Island. You've got Starbucks. You've got, as you can see, restaurants, shops, pharmacy coming up. You've got Penguins coming up, which is actually Pinguinos, but he said yes, it's okay, call him Penguins. He doesn't mind. You've got the Donna Express coming up. You've got Tea for Two at the harbour. The Promenade's open, so let's go down the Promenade.
Yes.
Because in the summertime, the Promenade, if you understand, is closed at night times. Get round and receive you. He's trying to make a delivery. Quite difficult for a lot of these delivery vans because they're in tight spaces. There's bollards absolutely everywhere, and they've got to make deliveries, which is not easy, especially when it's hot, and especially when there's idiots like us in a Mercedes driving around, and a lot of foreigners and tourists. Anyway, hats off to them. They do a very good job, and they keep these restaurants and these bars full. Wow, look at that. Isn't that spectacular? Now, if you've not been to Paphos before, get yourself on a big bird or on a canoe and start paddling like crazy, because this is paradise, absolute paradise. We understand that we've got competition, and as I've said in a previous video, next year we are planning on going on island hopping. So we're trying to learn our trade if ever we can. Big shout out to James Anderson. He said he was watching some of our older films, and he said he liked our progression in style. I don't know if we've got a style, to be honest, but anyway, we appreciate the comment. Thanks very, very much. Have a look at that. That's the blue Mediterranean Sea, and you can probably just about see some boats, big boats, small boats, a couple of police boats, the grey ones, that's what they are. The harbour's coming up. There's the Castle Fort, there's the Ocean Vision parked up. Doesn't go out on a Sunday, so we might go for a rummage around that boat today, actually, Priscilla. Not a bad idea. Let's get out to the harbour and see what's going on. And let's get them to the rear of the fort, and we'll dismount and have a look at that view. What have you got to say?
It's very nice,
Yes.
by the way. I'm driving and enjoying, especially when you're sitting in the car. You feel so chill.
Yes, very chill. We've got the aircon turned down, obviously, because otherwise, well, it would interfere with the sound quality. But we're just about right. Just gentle. It's cool. Very, very nice indeed. This is the kind of weather that's quite pleasant, and in another couple of weeks it's going to chill off a little bit more. Watch these, Crucifia Laboo. They haven't understood it's a road. Now they have. There we are. We don't want to run them over because we understand they could be watchers or even possibly subscribers. You never know. See, again, we've got this chaos because of all these delivery drivers, but they've got to park somewhere and make their deliveries. There we are. There's not a lot of thought, and I know it's the same in the UK, it's the same in Germany, it's the same in Belgium, Mr. Phil, if you're watching, Lesky, but there's not much thought that goes into the planning. All they think about is stopping people parking. They don't actually think about people making deliveries. And I know I'm on a rant, but I've got a business as well. Sometimes it's difficult for these businesses to get their supplies in there, shall we say. Anyway, stick with us. We are in paradise, or should we say paradise is coming up. There's a bunch of people looking out to the blue Mediterranean Sea. Stick with us for another couple of minutes and you are going to get to see that blue Mediterranean Sea. There's a bit of chopsiness, I think, in it tonight, which today, as you can see, and I think that adds to it. It makes it look absolutely spectacular. So stick with us. Here we go. We are ready for the dismount. Are we going into park? Crucifia Laboo? Wow. The driving today. There we are. Come on, Crucifia Laboo. Right, stick with us. She was more busy undoing a seatbelt rather than putting the car into park. And just so you understand, that's what's in front of us, and that's where the car. Oh, by the way, if anyone can get me one of those, go and get one. I could go and steal one, but I don't want to do it. But if you'd like to do it, please do it. Thanks. Stick with us. We're going to get out there and have a look. Crucifia, can I say you're looking absolutely beautiful? Can you have a twirl? Look at that. Wow. Absolutely beautiful. Most beautiful woman in the entire world. Stick with us. Let's get up there and have a look at that blue Mediterranean Sea. So stick with us. You haven't got to put up with us much longer. I hope some of you have enjoyed the drive, or the transcend down from Armu Village through Konya down to the Limassol roundabout, down through uptown Paphos and all the way down to the Cape of Paphos area. This is what you're waiting for, and it's about to come up right now. Have a look at that. a bit rocky out there, that's for sure. Very, very brave people indeed. But very, very private, that's for sure. So Sylvia?
Poor girl, she's trying to come out from the sea. I would like to tell you thank you so much for watching. We would like to tell you again and again many thanks for your time, support and everything what you do to us. And please don't forget to come to see another of our nice madnesses. We're loving you to bits and many kisses.
All that's left for me to say is thanks for watching. If you like what you see, hit the like, click subscribe, and please come back for a little bit more of our madness. We'll give you one last cheeky little glimpse of the blue Mediterranean Sea. If you want more of it, well, you know what you do. We're on 3 times a day. Come back a bit later and you get to see a little bit more.